Shalom, Mr. First and foremost, I do want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, HaKadosh, the born to see apostles, Nels great millstone, for teaching us its true peace and blessings, to the hope like Rizal. Yahweh is the name of the friendly Hebrew, Ba'ashem is the name, Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Back here in lesson, as you see within the title, a taste of your own medicine. And you're going to be speaking on these, recent situations regarding ICE, especially dealing with these two killings, of these, two U.S. American citizens, with them especially being, both Edomites. And that's right there is just a little taste of the hand that Jake has dealt with. The way this devil, treats our people, especially dealing with these, various situations, how dirty, Jake is done. Or various situations where you have Jake end up getting taken out over nothing. Where Jake is getting, falsely accused and, everything, about a certain situation is, misconstrued, twist and turned. I've seen with these, two particular situations dealing with Renee Good, which was the Edomite woman, which you saw how they turned, that story around where they said that she tried to, run them over, and that's why she ended up getting popped. And dealing with this most recent one, which I believe just yesterday, this dude was, shot down, and you can find, various angles of videos of, that guy pretty much getting held down by, 7+ dudes. And I believe they even took away, his weapon, and still end up getting, taken out. So that right there is a little taste of what our people, of what Jake has to go through. And you devils are ultimately going to get what's coming to you, man. But like I said, this is a little sprinkle, a little taste of, what's in store. Because ultimately we're seeing, the fall and, the end of this devil's rulership, his kingdom is crumbling, man. Look around you. But I do have this, quick little article just to, go into these situations. It says, protect us, you're killing us. Death stalks Minneapolis again. So you see, if this devil is doing this to his own people, imagine what he's going to do to the people, that he hates, which is, dealing with Jake, the Israelites. Because our people are really, the main target, the main focal point of this attack. But as you've seen with these, past two situations, especially dealing with these two Edomites getting taken out. And you see how these, situations, played out. This is a little sprinkle, a little taste of what Jake has to go through. So going back to, the title, a taste of your own medicine. As you get throughout the scriptures, especially goes into, everything, returning upon this devil's own head. But it says another person is shot dead by federal agents. Many in the city are afraid to leave home in fear of President Trump's immigration crackdown. And we've been saying, something is meaning to happen, something meaning to, pop off. And even before that, we said the Lord likes to, kick things off with a bang. And you are literally seeing it. But I'll probably read these 3 paragraphs right here. It says, he's dead. The woman screamed as she stumbled down the frozen pavement, supported by a friend. Said she was wearing a scarlet jacket and the blood had drained from her face. They just killed him. And as soon as they did that, they pretty much, clapped their hands together and dipped. Fled the situation. So this is just right here is a sliver of what our people have to go through. It says behind her, an ambulance that had screeched onto Nicollet Avenue in Minneapolis a few minutes before was driving away. The body of a man inside it, who identified as 37-year-old U.S. citizen Alex Peretti, which you see right here. His parents said he was an intensive care unit nurse living in Minneapolis. But, that's the point right there. And we're going to get into, scriptures. So I did, take some inspiration from one of the brothers, lessons, which didn't get to watch it, but I seen his title, which you'll see right here. Brother Malcolm says, now whites feel what it can be like to law mistreat them to their graves. Just the beginning. But Deuteronomy 30:7 is one of the main scriptures that came to mind. And it says, in the Lord, thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee. Who hate us? Esau, Edom, as well as, these heathen nations. But really mainly, speaking of Esau, Edom, because you get in the scriptures in Ezekiel 35:5, it goes into this perpetual hatred, that this devil has for us. So we're on top one more time, and it says, "And Lord, thy power put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." So, all of this is going to return upon this devil's own head. He's going to get what's coming to them. And as a matter of fact, you get in the scriptures how this devil's going to receive double. He's going to drink that cup. But like I said, it's just one little sliver, a little sprinkle, a little taste of what's to come for this devil. And as you made that point earlier, this is a little sliver of what our people have to go through. You see various situations where, a situation goes bad, and you see, the policeman, policewoman, whatever the case may be, does something stupid, and Jake ends up getting taken out because of their stupidity, really their hatred, because the devil is seeking to take you out. As you get in the scriptures, how he walked as a lion, seeking whom he may devour, paraphrasing. Let's get another scripture. This is Obadiah 1:15, further establishing that point. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. So you need what's coming to you. Numbers 35:33. And it says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed. And who shed that blood? Esau, Edom. You get in the scripture how the whole creation groans and travails in pain together until now. We're paraphrasing. And another scripture going to I lost my train of thought. Going to when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. So you see how the devil is running this place, and he's running into the ground. Isaiah 14:21-22 says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the Lord with cities. Verse 22, for I will rise up against them, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and the remnant and son and nephew, saith the Lord. So this devil is ultimately going to get what's coming to him. And there's no escaping, your judgment. And like I said, these, two situations being a little sliver, a tiny example of what's to come. There's Revelation 13:10, it says, he that leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword. And here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So as we read in the previous two scriptures, Deuteronomy 30:7, Obadiah 1:15, it's all going to return upon his own head. He's only going to get, what's coming to him. As well as Isaiah 14, because he also has the devil trying to flee, trying to, escape, his judgment. As he thought various scriptures, he's going to try to flee into these bunkers and various other things to try to hide from the wrath of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. but there is no escape. 2 Ezra 6 and 9, it says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed him." We're seeing the fall and the end of this devil's kingdom. And who's up next? Israel. But that's pretty much the point right there. Just wanted to, speak on these, situations, and this devil getting a little taste, a little sliver of what, our people, of what Jake, has to deal with on a pretty much a daily basis. Jake getting falsely accused, narratives being, twisted. Jake getting put in, dire, troublesome situations. And you see how this devil, treats, our people. Especially no matter how high your status in this place is, especially. You see various situations where you have NFL players that are especially well known. One, which let's go into, dealing with Tyreek Hill, where he was, I believe, pulled out of his car at one point, and he has a multi-million-dollar contract. And this is how you're still treated. So, going to show this hatred this devil, has for our people. But this, going back to that situation, or that point, a taste of your own medicine. But Lord was edifying, just something quick to the point. I do close out, give all praise, all honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim, Shabbat, Shalom, Shalom, Lord's will.